Tonight we are doing the Charles Taylor, Joel Howard Taylor's documentary. We'll get into the local gossip, the trending gossip around Facebook, but most especially, let's do the Taylor's documentary. Let's do the Taylor's documentary. My condolences goes out to the Taylor family. Joel Howard Taylor, Charles Gange Taylor, former warlord of Liberia, buried their son yesterday. Joel Howard Taylor. I was made to understand yesterday that Philip Taylor was Joel's only son, only child, not son, only child. The boys that we saw at the funeral, little boy with a chubby little face, light skin, is her grandson. For what I understood, I stand to be corrected. If I'm wrong, please correct me tonight. Philip's son looks just like his granddad. Former warlord Charles Taylor is still in prison for his crime to humanity. As we all know, Charles Taylor destroyed Liberia. It's because of Charles Taylor today we have a lot of prostitutes, a lot of Soko boys, a lot of Soko girls. It's because of Charles Taylor today a lot of children in Liberia today, they are orphan. We have a lot of orphanage homes. We have a lot of children that grew up without parents. And I know some people will not like me for this, but it's my job to speak my truth. I didn't come to insult Philip. I didn't come to disrespect the family or disrespect the dead, but I came to speak my truth. The voice that are going to come out of me tonight is not for Philip. No. Philip didn't do nothing wrong as far as I'm concerned. Maybe he did, but I don't know. I heard that Chucky Taylor, who is in prison right now in the States, was the me-by man. Chucky Taylor is the son to Tupi Taylor. Tupi Taylor is Charles Taylor's first wife. I stand to be corrected. Tupi Taylor is a sister to Felicia Buaka, who was deported from Liberia a few weeks ago, and I see her enjoying soft life in Liberia without any remorse because life was meant to be enjoyed. I'm hearing that Tupi Taylor has two sons or two children. I'm sorry for Charles Taylor. He's not late for Charles Taylor. I don't know if they are still legally married because Liberian men don't like to end the marriages. If a lot of you understand who don't know, Liberian men don't like to end marriages. And that's a bad habit. Charles Taylor has so many wives and concubines. Charles Taylor is the reason why a lot of girls underage were fragilized, murder. But yesterday of all days, I showed they felt the pain. The Taylors, the Uris, they felt the pain. The Howards, they felt the pain of yesterday. And I'm even hearing that even Joelle apologized to the nation. Not just for her husband, for herself too. She want to be free. She want to be at peace of the crime that was committed during his time. 1990 was a very painful time. Liberians do not want to remember those days because those days we left it behind. But sometimes the memories of yesterday, it come back to haunt us today. Yesterday, the funeral was filled with a lot of well-wishers, sympathizers. A lot of sympathizers attended that funeral. It's a hard thing for a mother to bury a child. Children should be burying their parents. It cannot be the other way around. From what I'm hearing, Philip died from heart disease or heart problem. Philip, they let Philip Taylor, son to Charles and Joel Taylor, because Joel and Charles, they are still legally married, even though she's not Charles's first wife. He was on drugs. He did some drugs, and I don't blame him. These were things that he saw his dad doing during the war. He died in his early 40s. Philip graduated high school. I saw his picture on his mom's wall. Some of the pictures on Vision TV, you know, that was captured. The war saw it. The whole war watched the funeral. Liberians all around the world paid tribute. I didn't see Joseph Walker at the funeral. I don't know if he attended. I stand to be corrected. I don't know if Joseph Walker attended. She apologized because she wanted to be a vice president. She didn't apologize until we are selected her as vice president. Her apologies were for a motive. Oh, okay. Okay, so she apologized to that regime of her wanting to be vice president of the Republic of Liberia, of which she did. He died from heart failure. You'll be helping preach a sermon tonight. The funeral was attended by sympathizers, not well-wishers, but sympathizers. I stand to be corrected. I didn't see Joseph Walker, but if Joseph Walker was there, that was a good move because it was a presidential funeral. Yesterday funeral, this is now a class, this is a church. Yesterday funeral was a presidential. In Great Britain, we call it royal. It was a royal funeral. Attended by the shakers of Monrovia. I saw people like Edwin Snow. Edwin Snow attended the funeral. And most of the men that attended that funeral, most of the cabinet ministers, the real Tashikis, the real Odukus, most of them were rogues. They stole government money. Example, Edwin Snow, George Weah attended the funeral, of course. It was a royal funeral because the little boy parents were president and vice president. Come on now. We can help to say, and that's why tonight I'm dressed this way. I'm dressed to honor Philip. I'm dressed to pay my tribute. Please don't, or you know, to pay tribute to the late Philip and to all the deceased, all those that died before their 70th birthday, premature death in the hands of Charles Ganget Taylor. Yesterday, I know wherever Charles Taylor was, he felt that pain. That's his child. Even though that bound is not there, but at least that's his child. I don't know if Charles Taylor paid tribute. Did Charles Taylor pay tribute from prison? Did they give him the opportunity to say something from prison? It was a royal funeral. Thank you so much. Thank you. It was a presidential funeral. I mean, I'm not going to say it tonight and deviate from the truth. I'm not going to sweep the truth under the carpet. Oh, he paid tribute from prison. That was honorable. He called Sierra. Can somebody please send me the clip? Can somebody please send me the clip of Charles Taylor saying a few words? He did call. I expected that too. I'm not too surprised. I expected that. I did. It was a presidential funeral. His daughter read. Yes, he did, Sierra. Thank you so much for helping me preach the sermon of the day. Charles Ganget Taylor is the reason for why people like Vava is an orphan. A lot of people today are orphaned because of Charles Taylor. Charles Taylor was ruthless. He was a monster. In Kepama State, so called put a child still a boy. I mean, some of you can ask for me to go to the immediate left. I don't mind. I will go to the left. You know, I have felt nothing. I already told you guys that, oh, I'm coming to Liberia. I'm not afraid. I'm not a local. I'm not a local. I am an American by naturalization. Prophet Key was sent to South Beach because he's a local. Prophet Key was not a Moroccan citizen. And to make it worse, he's broke. I will not be surprised to go to Liberia one day, the whole Liberia sue me. But who give a fuck? The whole fucking Liberia can sue my ass. I don't give a damn. I am an American citizen. You guys will be hearing for time from himself. If anybody dare lay their hands on me, try to rape me, try to sodomize me, try to slash my throat, you are here for Donald Trump himself. Donald J. Trump will be paying a currency call. I just want Joseph Boaka to know that the day I'm visiting Liberia, and by any chance, you can take me to court. But that nonsense you guys be all trying to rape people like Justino Taylor, even though Justino can lie. When Justino tell you really, you gotta open both curtains, you know, and see if the sun is not shining. Let me water down my throat. Because I'm about to send some massive bomb. And I don't give a fuck who get hurt in the midst of my wars. I mean, you know, in the midst of the warfare tonight, if the bomb tests you, that's fine. Words were meant to be used. I will choose my words tonight, but I will not hesitate to deviate. I will not deviate from telling my truth. So if you join the platform tonight and you think I can be set here to sugarcoat, no, you will be disappointed. I did not come here to sugarcoat. Charles Taylor was a bloodsucker. He was a vampire. Charles can't get Taylor by our people. It's because of Charles Taylor today, a lot of our little girls have turned to Soko. Our little boys, they are Liberian. I beg you. What you say? Because there was no parental guardians. The child was destroyed. The nation wept. Parents were young as in the early 20s. They gave birth to babies, and no babies had no parents. Today, they grew up as orphans. Orphans, no love. The reason why you see today a lot of witchcraft is going on in Liberia, that generation, is because they didn't receive no love from their parents. They didn't even know what parental love is. They have never felt that staunch love. The love that parents will show their children, those children never experienced it because of the war Charles Taylor and the late Prince Johnson brought to our people. The educational background, education was denied. They were denied education. They were denied love. They were denied food. They were denied common things. They were bed to sleep on at night. That generation suffered. And their generation is also bearing the consequences because of the war Charles Taylor and his men brought to our dear country, Liberia. Yesterday and all through this time of bereavement, I'm very sure that Joel Howard Taylor had the time to reflect for moments on the things that led even her own son Philip to drugs. You know, sometimes when you take too much drugs, it's not good for the heart. When you drink too much hard liquor, it's not good for the heart. Too much of everything is bullshit. And looking at countries like Liberia, they don't have enough equipment. Liberians don't like taking medication anyway. Philip died. You could tell that Joelle, she stayed in a state of shock. Joelle Howard Taylor is still shocked to the core. It's like me sitting at Ovi's funeral. How can a mother bury her only child? I thought Philip was her only son, not knowing Philip is her only child. How can a mother bury her only child? Sometimes we'll look at it, the sins of our forefathers. The sins of our forefathers. It was a moment to reflect on. It was a beautiful funeral. Beautiful funeral. When money speaks, bullshit walk. And that's why I call the funeral a presidential funeral. You could even tell from the repast. You could tell from where they buried him. Philip was buried with class. His funeral was attended by celebrities. Money spoke different languages. But would that bring Philip back? No. Philip would never come back to this earth. My deepest sympathy tonight to the Bereaved family. Like I was saying, the Howards, the Taylors, the Howards, the Ures, a host of other relatives here in America and around the world. I couldn't hesitate but to look at, I saw a picture of Christina D. Taylor. Christina is niece to Charles Ganget Taylor. And you know Christina Taylor, the tall girl that look like so that she don't even look like giraffe to me. So that Christina looks like a witch. Sometimes Christiana looks like a witch. Christiana wanted to buy me in Liberia too. Christiana Taylor, in 2021, she was trying to connect with Jessica Lontete for me to go and stay at her home. She got a home in Liberia, Airbnb. She says, but it's on Congo Town back road. First of all, I don't stay in people's homes in the darkness. I do not stay in people's Airbnb because that's a chance of murder. 100% chance of you getting murdered, raped, sliced, and thrown in the ocean. So I declined the offer. Christiana D. Taylor is Charles Taylor's niece. It's in her DNA. She wanted to buy me. It's not alleged. Christiana Taylor wanted to buy me in 2021. Everything was set the day I was going to be bought. But thank God tonight that he redirected my steps. He ordered my steps. The Lord told me one night, Charlotte, don't go there. I would rather you go and stay in the hotel. Everything that glitter is not gold. You let too much free thing. They order free thing, turn it down. So I decided not to go to Christiana's Airbnb. You know, I left free thing. So I stayed at The Royal, the new Royal Hotel in Maikibi. I stay at the Royal. Yeah, no Christiana was disappointed. Because Christiana is the niece of Charles Taylor. So you know what that means, right? By this time, you guys have already finished singing It Is Well. It Is Well is an old song. I love that song. But I was going to back before my 70th. It was going to be a premature back. I don't have time for the haters. I'm not reading for Miss. I took all my reading classes. I love free things, but that particular year I declined for some reason. And here go Christiana at the funeral trying to show off that she's a niece of Charles Taylor or whatever relationship going on there. She was showing off with, I think, Joel's grandson. Oh, you know, I told him he's just like a daddy. Bitch, nobody asked you. Nobody asked you. Yeah, they said there's a woman that came on 3 children, but to never do royal funeral. It is well, it is well. But none really had no option but to offer. Okay, I saw the US, yeah, to offer Philip a free burial site and a befitting burial. Charles Taylor left all the, yes, they looted money in his charge. Bena, yes, yes, all those riches. So where did they bury Philip yesterday? Where was Philip laid to rest? In Bena, City? Where was Philip laid to rest yesterday? You know, I don't really follow Liberian news. I was like,